Hello, dear Mindfulness Collective. This right here, right now, is the Joy of Being Alive stream coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York. Folks, lovely to be here with you as always. And as always, let me know where you're at. How are you doing? What are you grateful for? I am in Brooklyn. Ooh, I saw a great concert, not last night, the night before. I'm still recuperating. It's funny, I used to be able to take drugs or do things, go crazy all night long, and I didn't take any drugs. I just went and saw a concert, danced a lot, but it was I'm still wiped out. Stayed up late, that kind of thing, hung out, really fun. Okay, folks, let me know where you're at, what you're grateful for, and then we'll go from there. What's new, what's happening, and how's everyone doing? And yeah, okay, let's jump in here. Great, Cat Letterbox from Zurich. Grateful for road cycling. Excellent. Okay. And we're meditating today. I don't know if you guys know that. We're going to be meditating. Dave from Lithuania, grateful for fresh air. Excellent. What a lovely time. What a lovely life. Nate, grateful for fish shows. Did you go? I don't know if you went or you listened. Oh my God. I have such, I don't know if it's FOMO because it already happened, but it's I don't know, regret or whatever. But I went the first night. Great show. I went with a friend. It was their first show. It was kind of okay. I was saying, did you go or did you listen to the shows? It was a psychedelic rock concert. It's by a band named, so I went to the first night. It's a 4-night run at Madison Square Garden, and I brought a friend. It was their first concert. They were from Colombia, so they had never been to a concert. Obviously, first fish concert, and it was awesome to bring a person the first time. They loved it. They had such a great time. We were on the floor way up front. Actually, let me see if I can pull this up, because it's not even on my phone anymore at this point. I posted it on Reddit. I'm going to show you what the lights look like, because I got a really good video of the best part of the lights of the whole show. Let me pull this up. Oh wait, actually I need that tab. I can't use that tab. Okay, so I'm going to pull up what the lights look like and show you the video that I shot, my very own self. Here we are. This video. Okay, well, no, wrong screen. Let's move this over here. I want to see this. Okay, hold on. Just a second, folks. We're almost there. Trust me, we are so close. Let me show you what this looks like. So Psychedelic Rock Concert. These guys are close. Where's the thing? Monitor 2. Nope. Monitor 2. Okay. Psychedelic Rock Concert. It's basically it's an art rock band. So they are weirdos. They are cool weirdos that do all sorts of cool stuff. And let me, I don't know how to capture this. Let's just do corner watch. Okay. I can do this. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm about to show you what it looked like and sounded like a little bit at the concert. So here's what it looked like. I was really close. I think you can see that, right? Yeah, here's what it was. Sound. And even though this is cool, it changes and gets even better in a second. And also, he built the lighting for all of Madison Square Garden, so there's just lights everywhere in the entire like building. So there's like, this is just in front of you, but all around you is all like the similar sort of universe of stuff. So it's just like incredibly beautiful. Of course, I was standing behind the tallest guy. It's like a guy who's like 3 inches taller than me, but you know. Anyway, that's what it looked like. I know, so much fun. So yeah, it was cool. That was the concert I was at. Very worth it. And what I was saying before was that no sound. That's okay. You know, whatever. You heard some sound. You got a sense of what it was. It was very, it was very chill. Hopefully you could hear my sound, but the music was pretty chill at that moment. Didn't go. I thought about it. Must have been fun, the careening into Possum. It was really fun. That was maybe like the most fun moment of the whole show, was like the first like 2 songs. It was a good show, but then I heard about the show from the next night and I was like, oh my God, like it just sounded, just by set list alone, was like so, yeah, so crazy. Yeah, my FOMOs were missing last night, so I don't know how that works. So, okay, anyway. Cat letterbox, no sound. Hopefully you could hear my sound. That's all I really care about. But it's good to know that there's no sound in this system audio. There should be sound. Maybe I change the close system audio. Here it is. I got to copy that. Sorry, I'm going to fix that right now. So, folks, we're going to meditate in a little bit. Let's see. That's why there was no sound. Okay. Folks, we're going to meditate here in just a moment. So today's technically Freaky Friday. So if folks have ideas about weird ways that we could meditate and have fun, I am all about it. I'm ready to hear your ideas. And that said, I have some ideas about things we might do. I was thinking about doing some stuff related to non-self, self and non-self. So yeah, let me know. What are you thinking about doing today? What do you guys want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to practice around? What would be fun? And we'll go from there. Oops. Hit me in the chat what would be fun, and I can look at my list of things that we've done. And we can see from there. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, it's hard to search. Okay, I'm trying to see where we've had non-self and non-duality show up in the same search on my computer. So I'm just trying to see which non-self stuff I have recorded lately. I'm trying to see when we've last done that. Yeah. So folks, hit me with where we go, non-self. Oh, there's several non-self. Okay, I have overlapping sense spheres, self. Okay, well, I'm going to stick with that. Anyway, point is, folks, hit me with what you're interested in doing as far as practice. Oh, hello. Folks, I don't know if you know this, but this is I'm going to call you 1 and Centium, because there's a lot of ones there. 4-1 and Centium is first-time chatter. First-time chatter here. You don't know then that we have a way of welcoming you, which Amuse Dave was totally on top of. We were very happy to have you here with us, as always. Thank you so much for joining. And everyone who has been a member here for a while knows that we always, all of us, always do something to help welcome you here. Okay. 1 and Centium says, what about practice meditation around habitual avoidance of stuff? Excellent. That come up it comes up in meditation. The reflex reaction of stopping images and thoughts in noting. I don't know. Are those the same thing? Are you saying those are the same thing? Nate, just so you know, it has to be the emojis from the chat on Twitch, or on the interface, the chat interface on Twitch. I can show you. It has to be these emojis here. These guys. If you punch these in, you just have to click and hit return. Oops, wrong screen. They will pop into this screen. Okay. All right, folks. Okay, so Incentium 1 Incentium says, what about practicing meditation around habitual avoidance of stuff? That part makes perfect sense. Of stuff. That comes up in meditation. So avoiding stuff that comes up in meditation, like as in the reflex reaction of stopping images through noting. I truly want to understand what you're saying. I think they're the same thing. Still counts. It definitely counts, Nate. Help me clarify what you mean. Do you mean just like in life, things that you're avoiding? Or do you mean that there are things that are occurring in meditation that you're avoiding? Or do you mean that yeah, I'm not sure I understand, but that sounds like a great meditation to do, so let's do that. But I need to understand. If you can't explain it, you want to jump on Discord real quick to explain, I'm happy to have you there. Okay. If you want to jump on the Discord and explain, that is delightful as well. Oops. Okay. Still counts. Okay. This is the Discord if you want to jump on. I'd love to understand what you're talking about, but if not, I totally understand. So any other requests, questions, comments, queries, challenges, anything you want to bring into the meditation? I'd say that when I meditate, there's stuff that comes up. Okay. Life stuff. I tend to have a reflex reaction to stop it. Okay, good. I understand now. Okay. So I've been thinking about this idea recently around friendship. And part of what we're trying to do is make friends with every aspect of our experience. No matter what it is, we're there to befriend that experience. It might seem strange because obviously there's some things we don't like pain. But we're there to befriend the pain as much as we can. What I would say, and we might fold this right into the meditation, is look for the part of you or the drive within you that wants to reject that and accept that. Oh, I keep whacking my mic. It's in a new spot now. It's over here. It used to be over here. I would recommend exactly that is if that part arises and there's this instinct to reject it, the instinct to reject is some level of a drive. So just really welcome the instinct to reject, because the instinct to reject is the behavior. It is not the sort of nature of the drive. The nature of the drive is just to keep you safe, protected, move you away from pain, that kind of thing. So you just want to respect and understand, oh, of course, yeah, you want to do that. That makes perfect sense, because you don't want there to be oh, I'm rejecting this stuff. What's wrong with me? A different drive, a different judgment. Oh man, I'm doing that now. Now I'm, judging. Just totally deeply accept that there is a part of you that wants to do that. And then we'll go from there. Which actually leads me to, maybe we'll do this. Let's do a meditation on conflict between parts. This is a very common issue that comes up. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's because there's a delay in the video for my hands. It's very weird. So I'm not sure why I'm digging into that. I'm investing in that so much. So for this meditation, you'd need to be able to locate. Oh, heads butting. That's why I was doing that. Good call. You need to be able to locate parts. You need to be able to listen to parts. And I think you have to be able to analyze the parts. So I just want to walk through this now so I'm not like fumbling through it while we're guiding the meditation. You have to be able to locate parts, which I can go and how to do that after. You have to be able to listen to parts, see what their thing is, what their drive is, whatever that is. And then to actually navigate the parts themselves. You can do this now as I'm explaining. It doesn't have to be some boring thing where you wait for me to finish. As you're navigating different parts of yourself, part of the premise is to help the parts communicate with each other. I think the primary question is, what is your job? What's your role? That's the biggest question. That's the biggest question you want to be able to answer. So when you ask a part, what is its role? It doesn't always answer necessarily. Sometimes parts don't have roles, but their role is the thing that is driving them forward. So with the part that you're saying is like stuff comes up and there's a reflex to stop it. So the reflex is part of its, that's a part of its thing. This is what I do. I do this. I jump in. So you can ask, like, what is your role? And that's part of what it does. And it's there to stop some of that sensation. I'm going to get rid of that stuff, right? And to find out what its job is very, very important. What its role is, what does it do? These are all the same question. The next thing, I think, is to find out, and this is the same question. I'm going to write three things that are the same question. And that's two. And two questions. This is. I hope the drama is really, really big for you guys. You're just like, whoa, what are these questions going to be? Let's just go with two for now. Okay, first question, why is that important? We want to assume that it is. We're not saying, oh, why would that be important? We're saying, well, no, obviously it's important to this part. It wants to stop these reflective things from happening. It's important. I have to do this. I have to do it. Question is like, well, why do you have to do it? We're not trying to convince it not to do it. We actually want to know, why is it that it feels it needs to do the thing? I think need is very important here. It's like, I have to do this thing. The next question is, what would happen if you didn't? Actually, it's the same question. What would happen if you didn't do that? Because both of those questions are getting at, if I didn't do this, this would be something pretty bad. Like, why do I do that? Well, because there'd be something really bad would happen if I didn't do it. Why is it important? Because if I don't do this, then this bad thing is going to happen. Both of those are pointing towards the problem and the reason why this part is doing the thing. So what do you do? Why do you do it? That's the short version. What do you do and why? If you can figure that out with a part, you can then start to help these two parts that are antagonistic to each other, help those two parts work it out. In part, when parts can just see what the other part's role is and see that they're not trying to destroy, usually the parts usually feel like they're like totally head to head trying to destroy each other. We'll jump into the meditation in just a second, but the last thing I'll say is that often what happens, a lot of our difficulty is conflict between parts, and a lot of that difficulty can play itself out in something like what's called the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul is an example of two parts, two directions. One part wants freedom, the other part wants safety, so sort of like two directions, and the two of those together create this incredible turbulence. So in that case, what I would do is ask both of them, pick one to start with and figure out which one needs attention first. And the part that wants freedom, I just want to be free. You sort of ask that part, like, well, why do you want that? It's like, because it would be great. It would feel so wonderful. So what happens if you didn't do that? Ooh, well, I don't like not being free. It would be bad. Okay, cool. So we have a sense of its motives. Oh, thanks. I'm glad it's great. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're having a good time. So we have a sense of its motives. Why are you doing that? Because, and even if we don't have a clear answer, no, I really want the freedom part. I want that because it's already telling us like what's the reason it's like pushing in that direction. One is actually to have that freedom. The other one is to avoid the, I don't like the not free feeling, right? So that's one thing. All right, new microphone. You gotta chill just a little bit, okay? Okay, so it really is right here. I wish there was is there any, because I'm always sort of doing this. Maybe if it was like up in my face over here, anyway. But then you couldn't get anyway. It's better to have it low down. I just have to remember that it's there. So it'll be there, I'll be whapping it for a while. I have to gesticulate over here. So that's that part's sense, right? That's why that part's doing that. Okay, so we now know that. Let's go to the other part, the part that wants freedom, the part that wants safety. Okay, it wants things to stay safe. It doesn't want to transcend. It doesn't want to experience non-self. It doesn't want emptiness. Like, forget all that. It likes things being nice and orderly, just how they are. Everything will be stable. I know who I am. I have an identity. This is very good. We don't want to reject that part because it'll just come back to bite us in the ass. And that's what happens. The dark night is largely people so into the momentum of freedom that they're trying to ignore the part that needs and wants safety. Very valid part. Safety is a very important part of existing. So to tune into that part and be like, okay, what's your job? What do you do? It's like, well, I keep things safe and they're okay and everything's in a place. You can already hear in there the anxiety, like it's important that this happens. So, what would happen if you didn't do that? Remember, we're not telling these parts we're going to make you stop doing that. Parts will rebel very quickly if you imply that you're going to be like, make them not do the thing. Why, if we, not going to tell you to stop keeping us safe, but what's the concern if it didn't keep us safe? Now, of course, the concern is a lack of safety, but you can get more nuance. Like if it wasn't safe, then it'd be chaotic, and there'd be pain, and it'd just be awful, right? So now you're getting at what this thing's experience, this part's experience is. It would be pain, it would be awful, it would be chaotic. I'm just making this up, could be very different for you. So now you have these two things. One is it's chaotic, it's terrible. The other one is like, that yucky, like not free feeling. I want the free feeling, right? So you start negotiating. You say, hey, freedom part, do you know this other one, if it doesn't get what it needs, it's going to feel awful and yucky and chaotic. And usually the freedom part's like, they don't know. They only are doing their one thing. They didn't know. Oh, really? I'm sorry. Okay, cool. Do you see that? Talk to the chaotic part or the safety part and say, do you know that this other part, it really wants this freedom thing and it feels like this when it can't get that? And it's like, oh, okay. And maybe it'll let go of the need for things to grip. And then you just hang out with those two. You just hang out, let them be friends, let them communicate if they need to. They don't know anything about each other. This is the same pattern for every duality or every polarization of parts. A lot of the time that what we're experiencing is a polarization between parts. Okay, if I haven't lost everyone here, Lucas, welcome to the Discord. We're going to be meditating here in just a few seconds. Nice to see you here. And we're going to meditate for 25 minutes. And then after that, we're going to do a Q&A. We were just talking about parts, conflicts, and the meditation we're going to be doing. Let's see, in this world, if you want to watch the live stream, it's twitch.tv/deepmindfulness, which PS, I feel like I can talk about this. I feel like, yeah, he's talked about this in public. My student and friend is the person who is the ultimate like pre-founder of Twitch. It's really sweet. I just know him as a very sweet student, and I usually don't research students, so I don't get caught up in thinking about their backgrounds or whatever. But anyway, so someone explained to me the whole background, but he created this thing where he was live streaming all day long with a camera on his head and a backpack full of cell phones, like way back before anyone did this, kind of like first vlogger. And that slowly transitioned into what we have today, which is Twitch. So just very funny. So if you want to watch, twitch.tv/deepmindfulness. That's the first time I've said the URL since I learned that story. Folks, find a nice comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. I'm going to move this microphone closer so that I will be more likely to whap it with my hands as I guide the meditation. Find that nice comfortable position. The only way to stay still for the duration of the meditation is to arrange yourself well. So arrange the knees lower than the hips so that the hips are sort of spilling forward just slightly. This arches the lower back naturally. So you're creating a balance point from the tailbone through the crown of the head. I usually like to stretch up at the beginning, way up, straight, 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 as though there's a string pulling from the crown of the head, not the middle, but the highest point, stretch the shoulders back, let the hands rest where they will, let go of the shoulders, and release all those muscle groups until you land in a balance point from the crown of the head through the tailbone, and you can feel that balance point. We're going to meditate here for 25 minutes. Make a commitment now. How long do you want to stay for the meditation? This will increase your likelihood of staying dramatically. If you only want to stay 10 minutes, that's fine, but just make a commitment now. And when you are ready, we will begin. One mental note just before we hit start is, and we're going to wait for one in Centium to be ready. One in Centium, you tell us when you're ready, and then we'll start the meditation. On a mental note, I want to maybe start doing meditations while people are out, like walking around, because that's a really fun way to meditate, not while you're sitting, but walking around. I might see if I can get a mobile set up to walk around and guide meditation for folks. Okay, so find that comfortable position. We'll wait for one in Centium is ready, so we will begin. Excuse me. Check. And here we go. Beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths and just feeling the body rise and fall. Each time we begin a meditation, we begin with the momentum of all of the previous moments. And we have the capacity to interact with and even affect the momentum of the previous moments. And this is by deciding to invest in the sensations of this particular moment. What if our entire freedom were available in this moment, but if we don't pay attention, we will miss it? Our entire pathway, our entire potential for freedom being present in this moment, being pregnant with that potential. But if we don't care about this moment, then that will just slip away. So as we begin to sweep through the body, to be sure we're not holding any undue tension, I want you to consider that a seed can be alive, waiting to grow, to spring forth for literally thousands of years. But if you overwater it, if you put too much sunlight on it or too little. It cannot grow. So we are meeting this moment with just the right amount of care. So as we relax the top of the head and the brow, as we relax the muscles behind the eyes, letting the eyes themselves fall back in the skull just a few millimeters. As we relax the face, the back of the tongue, as we allow the jaw to go slack, just considering what we're doing is cultivating this seed. By staying with the present moment, sensations of the neck and throat relaxing, and the shoulders relaxing. The arms, and eventually even the hands, relaxing more deeply than we can even physically feel. We are investing in this seed as we let the body breathe as it will, noticing the natural tightening and relaxing of the upper chest and upper back as the breath comes and goes. As we relax the belly and the lower back. The hips and the upper legs. The knees and calves. The ankles, and as we relax the feet, caring about this moment. Having faith in the potential of this seed. And as you relax the entire body all together as one large category, turning to the totality of experiencing, all experiencing together. As we recognize all of this experiencing in this moment doesn't need us to be different, doesn't need anything to be different. There may be parts of us in this moment that want things to be one way or another, but our overall experiencing does not need that. There can sometimes be a sense that I need to develop equanimity. But why? Why not just open to the deep and profound equanimity that's in all of our experience? Notice that our awareness doesn't need anything about this moment to be different. That spacious, knowing mind. Now, of course, in this moment, we might feel that we need things to be different. We want the meditation to go well. We want to understand the concepts. We want to feel the pleasant sensations and not feel the unpleasant ones. But notice the compassionate care of this kind, spacious awareness that doesn't need any of those things even. Any of those drives within us, it doesn't even need those to be different. So I'd like you to hold any and all of the parts of you that would like this moment to be different. These forces are quite consistent within us. They're often there. It might be a sense that we could progress and move forward. There might be a desire to get the meditation, or there could just be run-of-the-mill frustration, annoyance, sadness, or joy in the desire to have more joy. Just whatever drive is present, noticing. Including any impulses to move the body, to adjust. Tuning in and seeing if we have any ambivalence. If there's any sense of we should be or do a certain thing. Any sense of inner conflict. Anytime there's a should within us, that means there's at least two parts. One that wants to and one that is unable to or is afraid to. Sometimes that inner conflict will just be in the form of emotion. And perhaps another part of us that just doesn't want to feel that emotion. The emotion wants to be felt, and another part of us is saying, no, no, no. That is uncomfortable. We don't feel that. If you can't locate any polarization, any of these conflicts, just doing this process with one part. Any part that is feeling any challenge or need for this moment to be different, just welcoming that part. But if we can find that ambivalence, looking for the two parts or more that create it. If we've had an experience of ambivalence recently, we can just hearken back to that. What did that feel like? How did I know it was occurring? And can I detect that now? If we have any shame, this is a good example of a polarization. So we're looking to find both sides of this polarization. example of shame, there's one part that feels like it's not good enough, and another part that says, you're not good enough, there's something wrong with you. The second one is typically a bit older, more mature, even though it's still quite childlike. And simply noticing these two parts in conflict. Not a problem, just nature. And see if it's possible for these parts to recognize that you are here with them. Often we can observe parts, but they don't know that we are here with them. And simply staying with that for a few moments. This can often help the parts settle. Perhaps even there's a part that wants to find this conflict, and another part that is happy and peaceful, just resting in the meditation. And so choosing one part, seeing which one wants to come to the foreground first. We're simply going to ask that part, what is your role? What is it that you do? Looking for its drive. That's its answer. What it does is that. The reason it does that is because it feels like it has to, it needs to. It's important. If you get an answer, what this part's role is, let it know that you hear that, of course. It makes sense that that is your role. If a part is resistant to answering, then that resistance is the answer, of course. It's also likely part of that part's drive. That makes sense that you would resist in that way, of course. Once you get a sense of that part's drive, you can ask a second question. Why is that important? We're not looking for some other part to come in with a conceptual answer, something theoretical or psychological. Each part has a drive, and often a sense that it needs to do X, Y, or Z. It has to. So the question to the part is, why do you have to? Not trying to convince it to stop, but really being curious. And the answer will often point to the vulnerability which it protects. Part might say, with words or emotions or images, something like, I have to, because if I don't, it'll hurt, or it'll be bad, or it'll be scary. And we start to see what the part itself is protecting against. And to that we answer, of course. Of course. Once we have that data, we thank this part. Let it know we'll be back in just a moment. And turning to the other part of the polarization, starting again. Hello, welcome. Just letting that part know you're here with it. You're not here to change it, or to make it go away. Letting it feel your presence. Being sure that while we may see the part, that the part can see us. And repeating the process, asking the part, what do you do? What's your role? Not getting caught up in the content, just getting a sense of this part's drive. And then eventually asking this part, why? Why is that important for you? Not trying to get it to change, just asking, why is there a need? Again, allowing the part to point to the vulnerability. The next part of the process is to simply let one part understand the other. We will function as a kind of relay, taking the answers from one and sharing them with the other. It's rare that parts can even tell that there are other parts, even if they're in conflict with each other. And it's extremely rare that they can detect the other part's vulnerabilities. So going back to the first part and letting it know the drive, the need, and the vulnerability of the second part. Did you know that this is how this part experiences the world? And seeing how the first part reacts. Often we find that when a part hears about the needs and vulnerabilities of another part, it often feels very tender. Did you know that in this conflict, this is how this other part feels? This is often new information for a part. And before we repeat the process with the second part, sharing the drives and vulnerabilities of the first, we simply stay here and let the first part process what it's heard. And then we repeat the process with the second part. Did you know that this is the experience of the first part? Seeing what it's like for the second part to understand more clearly the drives and vulnerabilities of the first part. And eventually we hold the two together, just letting them be with each other. Like two siblings who've been fighting. Who now understand the pain of the other. So staying with this process, not letting go of the connections that you've built, and letting a little bit of light enter the eyes as the eyes eventually open. Letting the spaciousness of seeing create more space for the parts to rest within. this way, allowing this particular moment to be the great teacher that shows us how we might bring this practice into every aspect of our life. Okay, great work, everyone. Before you disappear, first I'm going to move this mic away so I don't smack it again. I want to hear what your experience was like. It's very hard for people to understand as a meditation teacher. I have no idea what happened for you. You could have been thinking about commercials from the, cereal commercials from the 90s and 2000s the whole time, for all I know. You could have experienced classical awakening. I do not know. The only way I can know is if you tell me. So I'm putting the Discord in the chat. If you want to jump in the Discord, you can feel free. If you want to type in your experience, what that was like, what happened, what you're like now, you can do that. And let me know. What was that experience like? What happened? What do you like now? I'm going to need to jump off in a little bit, so hit me quick. And we'll go from there. If anyone's in the Discord, if anyone pops into the Discord, you want to share, just raise your hand, and I can bring you and we can chat. I can hear what the hell you're talking about. It's always a little bit the higher advantage to use your voice versus typing, because I can get more nuance on your experience, but no pressure. Excellent. What was that like? What happened? What do you like now? And then we'll go from there. What was that experience? Okay. Yeah, what was that experience like? What happened? What do you like now? And then we will go from there. Okay, we have Dave here in Discord. I'm going to pull you in to speak. Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Good. Your mic's a little hot, just so you know.
Is it like too high?
It's this crackling. It seems maybe you're a little too close. Yeah, no sweat. It might just be a signal issue, but it's like a little bit like poof, explosive. So, yeah, tell me about your experience. What was that like? What happened? What do you like now? I will tell everyone that because this is part of a series we're recording, and so you might not have had two parts. You might not have been able to navigate them in this way. This is for if you have that experience, but either way, you did it, you tried it. Yeah, so what was that like, Dave? Did we lose you? Oh, we lost you. Nope, you're right there. But you're muted, I can't tell. Anyway, let me know when your mic is working. Anyone else, hit me in the chat what that was like, what happened, what do you like now? And then we'll go from there. If Dave is able, you're unmuted now. Okay, here we go. Cat Letterbox says, no commercials, that's good. Reuniting the doer with the parts that want to be loved. Excellent. I feel exhausted. My husband was hit by a car. Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. And is in the hospital. Cat Letterbox, I'm so very sorry to hear that. That sounds like really a lot to process. So thank you for sharing that. What do they say? Like a difficulty shared is a difficulty halved. I don't know if it'll go that far, but thank you so much for sharing that experience.
Okay.
Oh, much better.
My microphone.
Excellent.
Yeah, so thank you for having me.
Oof, it sounds amazing, Dave. This is the best you've ever sounded.
So yeah, I discovered those two parts that were fighting each other, but there were other parts overpowering them because when I try to understand them, each other, I was trying to make them understand each other, and then other part overpower that, so I couldn't do that.
And what was
And
the part
that
that
was
overpowered them? Like, what was it?
I don't know, like the part that didn't care, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
like
so they,
accepted it. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, oh, this doesn't matter. Yeah. So we want to look out for basically, typically, if a part is not willing to let us have a conversation, it's almost not universally, but it's quite often it is a protector. It's trying to protect us from feeling X, Y, or Z. And you can sometimes tell if, oops, there we go. I was still recording. You can sometimes tell if a part is a kind of a layer, because you can tell, like, as you go down to deeper and deeper sort of, wounds or difficulties, and the lower you go down, the simpler they become. So often the part like doesn't care, or that is sort of protecting, will be more sophisticated. It'll be like a more adult part that says, well, we're good at meditating, and in meditation we don't really care about these things, and therefore it's like that's a pretty complex thought, versus a part that's like, you're ugly, and the other part's like, you're right, you're telling me I'm ugly, like whatever that simple polarization is. So yeah, in that case, the move is to switch to that part and just really take care of that part, the part that doesn't care, and be like, cool, like, and become friends with it and just be there with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I did it as well. So yeah,
Nice.
I enjoyed that meditation.
Nice. Awesome. Anything else? Any other questions?
Not for now. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Great work. Pop you back in the audience. Here we have one in Centium with a nice report. Okay. Report saying, oh, I realized that we haven't set it up so that our Discord people can hear when we read from the computer. So I'm going to read the report. I'll summarize after.
When inhabiting the part that was protecting and giving shelter, I felt a tightening in the chest and back. And then I decided to bring up the issue I get in meditation a bit that causes the flinching away from experience. I then had another tightening, but trusted the protector, and then knew I'd be okay and had bit of relief. I get the sense that this will be a memory of safety going forward.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Great. Okay, so I'm not going to summarize exactly what was said, but basically there were two parts. One in Centium spent time with those parts, and there was more of a sense of safety being built. I know that's a very generic summary of what you just said, one in Centium, but that's actually really great just to hear that you're navigating the parts, you're listening, you're not trying to make them go away or be different or change. Same thing with Dave, you're just observing how they represent themselves. Lovely, lovely. Okay. Nate says, thank you for the sit. Got distracted and need to revisit. No sweat. Glad you're here. Folks, hit me with any final comments, questions, queries, or concerns. We are getting ready here. The retreat is going to start. Basically, I'm leaving on May 3rd, and that's when we're going to start, and I'll be away for a couple weeks, but until then, we should have streams, as far as I know. So the next stream will be in fewer than 72 hours here. Right now, I should jump off, or I'm going to be in trouble. Okay, any other last comments, queries, challenges? Nope, I'm not seeing anyone with their hands up. Lucas, thanks for joining on the Discord. If you want to hear the people's replies read digitally or see the stream itself, please feel free to jump over to twitch.tv/deepmindfulness. And with that, let's listen to some outro music and revisit our themes. Okay, folks, so in this particular moment, I also realize that folks on Discord can't hear any outro music. Just imagine some groovy music playing in the background. It says, P.S. Last night's show just started on Sirius XM. I don't have that. Thank you, though. So in this particular moment, take a moment again to look at any parts that are arising. Parts that enjoyed the meditation, parts that struggled, the part that got distracted, the part that, any part of us right now that's alive and present, and just welcoming that part's drive, its sort of directionality. Welcoming that into our experience and letting that part know that it's welcome to have that drive as long as it needs to. It doesn't have to have it. And you can even ask the part if it would be a relief if it could let that drive go. That part will usually express ambivalence. You might want to let it go, might not want to let it go. That's okay. That ambivalence is fine. And in that way, we are able to bring this practice into every aspect of our life as we move through our life. If we just attend to what's happening in our parts, it's powerful, transformative. So folks, we're going to be back here in fewer than 48 hours to practice yet again, answer your questions, have fun, and hang out. So folks, as always, practice well, take care of each other, have fun, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye.